Welcome to 2K Duncan. We're going to do a finishing video. This is going to be an actual full-on guide for 2K26. I'm going to start doing these, preparing you for 2K26. When you're watching this, I promise you it's going to help you a lot because some of the mechanics are still similar. We already know and confirmed by Mike Wayne. I have a bunch of videos covering everything he said. When it comes to finishing, we're not doing no deep dive into all of that information. Basically, finishing has custom layups now where you can put on different things and make yourself a better finisher overall. And if you're a shooter and you're like, I don't really care about finishing, guess what? This is going to help you because if nobody can stop you finishing, you're going to have wide open shots. So it's a vice versa thing. And so everybody can benefit off of the knowledge that I'm about to try to share and go forward. Basketball is a game of chess. You finish once, the next play, they'll step back and you hit an open three. And that's the way the game is played. And so being smart and having that in your bag is very key. We got lots of things to talk about when it comes to this new system. It's going to add variety for everybody, right? Now, if you're one of the guys who does layups only, or you do dunks only, or you're more of a floater guy, this is all a part of your game. And this is going to be essential if you take the time and try to master what I'm talking about. All right, so just lock in and be ready because this feature is, again, the top tier must have for every person. And before I just get into it, I said I wasn't going to cover the news too heavily, but this right here is what it is. Custom layups. You're able to take normal and reverse layups, change your floaters, change your quick scoops. I keep saying change because you got to know, change your Euro steps, your hop steps, and your spins. So you can change any piece of those actual pieces of information. And what does that mean? That means you got the crazy amount of variety for your builds and your play styles. I'm definitely going to have a high layup next year, strictly to be able to unlock the best animations. And if I was to go into the store and we just kind of like checked out every animation, this build right here only has a 75, so I'm missing out on a lot of things. And if we went down a list, which I already had a video, which we'll cover another time, which animation is the best. When you look at Jordan Poole, for example, he has that great fast scoop that he did at the start of this, but then the rest of these doing a 360 spin is not worth it. That behind the back jelly is nice. There's a couple of them that are good, but I don't want everything, right? I prefer his quick scoop. You know, I prefer not that or that reverse or normal layup type of madness. That reverse ain't good enough. That one right there is the one I want, right? So I can just give y'all a list of certain Euro steps that I'm going to be interested in trying to equip so that I can have the best play style to win the games way more easier. And so again, you're watching one player's packages, but I don't want their package. I just want a specific part of it. So this is going to be the first lesson, is to kind of go in and check out every player. And this is going to be the biggest deal in this year's game, to be able to master it and have, you know, the best ones ever equipped. So I wanted to start off with showing you just how this works. So as I go in, I can just hit square and it'll do a regular layup just like that. And that is pretty much straightforward. Now, if I want to do a hop step, I'm going to flick the right stick down. And I messed that up right there. But things like this, being able to do this hop step, which I, for some reason, can't trigger right now. And this tutorial guide has already failed. All right, so check it out right there. Bam, boom, I did a hop step and we're good to go. Now, if I wanted to do a Euro, I'm going to flick the right stick left and right, get that Euro in and do good. Remember, he has a 75, so he doesn't have the best animations compared to other people. But we can do all that stuff. And even if I was to come like from right here, it's going to be doing different animations. And for example, my floater, and again, I have a low rating, but you see right there, that floater is weak as hell. These are not what you want. You know, Derrick Rose has a hop jumper that he does that's amazing. You can see my Euro's really good, decent enough. And then my hop jumper is okay. So I'm passable with the current play style that I have. And so very important to be able to trigger all of this when you're a finisher. Okay. And we don't know how strong finishing is going to be as far as Euros and hop jumpers. This year wasn't that strong. Like, it was pretty weak. compared to previous years. So you taking risk, only do them in certain scenarios, for my personal opinion. But this is critical. So for example, I do my Euro, get my layup in. This isn't the character that I would want to do this with, but I have the chance, right? As you can see, I have like a little bit of a wide Euro on this character, but I don't like the hop jumper. Let's change it. And so I can go in and alter that as we go. But let's make believe right now that this is 2K26. And so right now I'm looking at the swing, which I think is a very good budget for this one. It's actually free for everybody basically, but I use the scoop mostly. I don't really use a lot of the mechanics that it has. You can see the scoop is pretty solid, right? It's not the best, but it's better, pretty fast, and that's important. But there's more than just a scoop in this game when it comes to each of these packages. They have hop jumpers, they have Euro steps, they have everything that you need to know. Like, how does this play? How does this feel? What do I have to do to get the best out of this build, right? Those are the questions. And so for me, for example, Lonzo Ball, character who's a little wild on some of his, going behind the back is always fun. Some of his dribbles are very long-winded and people will just consistently block it. It's a little slow. He's not as fast on some of it, but then, you might like Jalen Brunson. He has some decent, quicker animations, right? It also depends on what you want to do. Are you trying to do floaters a lot? What would be the best floater in this scenario? Well, let's say you break somebody and you're going down the lane, you want to do a floater. You do a hop step with Rose before the other defender comes and you just get a quick shot. And I'll do this from the free throw line and just pop off with an easy floater, okay? And that's where right now what I want y'all to do is some of the stuff that I'm going to be showcasing on getting on the court and practicing this in game, okay? We don't want you to sit around and like watch this video and think you're going to get better because you watched the video. Whoever be telling y'all them lies, don't listen to them, all right? And so I want to just showcase me getting some hardcore finishes while I'm playing in, what is this, random rec. And you'll see just me get to the basket, do certain things. Not everything is going to be a hop step or jumper, but the point is I've practiced the skill dunk, the contact dunk, thousands and thousands of times. I've had already thousands of reps, way more than 1,000, but I've done that because I want to get good at it to the point you can't stop it. Maybe you have good defense in the perimeter, you might be able to give me a challenge, but if I can get to the lane a little, you're going to be in trouble. Look at me dunking on 7-footers, like that's just the way it goes. And it's not that I'm a good player, that I'm the best. I just put in the time to take the steps necessary to understand the mechanics. When should I go for this dunk? When shouldn't I go for this dunk? The dude's 7 foot, he's in front of the rim, he's not under it. I probably don't want to go for it, right? Somebody's right in front of me and they're not letting me drive to the basket. I probably shouldn't go for it, right? These are just common sense things that you have to kind of take into account and then start seeing what works for you and your playstyle. And maybe you're not a dunker and you're like, hey man, I just want to learn the custom layups. Custom layups involve the dunks as well, because you're going to do a hop step, a Euro step, all types of different play styles that are very important to get used to. And so we're going to go ahead and dive a little deeper, and I'm going to show you again what I would do when I first get the game in 2K26. So I'm of course practicing dribbles, whatever you want to do. And normally I do like a hezzy and then a quick size up crossover, and then I do it behind the back that way. All right, so hezzy, cross, and then do this, and I'll do that very fast to try to get open on somebody, right? Boom, boom, and then I go and I do my layup, right? Or dunk or whatever I have. That's the easiest move you can figure out and do every play. And then if they counter it, cool, you just do something different and you change it up. Just do a step back if they get in the way. And then you get to the basket, you want to be able to trigger whatever it is that you like, that you think is good for the situation. I don't need to do a Euro for every play. Like, what do you think that's going to work? It's not. And until I practice it, and I could even go in here and just practice it with an AI, But the point is, until I practice which thing I'm doing, I'm not going to learn. So if I have the ball on my right side and I just hit the right stick, I'm able to do something like that, where that one is terrible, right? Well, I'm going to do it again from this side of it and get a quicker scoop. It's timed it, but you see what I'm saying? Like, start figuring out where I can trigger it to get the right scoop. That's the one I want. That's harder to defend if someone's trailing to my side. And I'm just like, let me get this quick scoop. Boom. And then I continuously get that every time. So I'm going to put the controller on the screen to kind of help you guys see even bigger and better on some of this. But in the end of the day, the main thing I want to do is just figure out each mechanic, right? Like, how do I do a scoop? All I'm doing is right stick to the right while the ball's on my right hand. If I want to do it towards the left, again, same thing, quick scoop. I don't want to trigger a dunk. Let's just say I don't have dunks high, so I don't hold turbo. I'm just going with the right stick, and that's it. And I can hold turbo all the way into the end till I get to like the free throw, and I let it go and do my little baby scoop. Okay, now I don't want to do a scoop. Maybe I just want to do a floater. I'll just stop right here, get a quick floater. Remember, this package is WAG. This isn't about what's the best package, because we don't know 2K26 right now, but we'll find out, you know. But here we go. So then the second step is, like, for example, Euro step. All I could do is pretty easy with a Euro step. I'm just flicking the stick back and forth, one the opposite way and back, right? So there you go. That was a decent thing where I just stuck to the side that I was in. But let's just say I'm going from over here, crossing the lane, and I do this, and now I see that the actual animation is different depending on angle. So I'm coming this way, get that one right there. And so now I know which one I need to trigger. So this angle right here is a quick scoop, and it's going to help if someone's coming from over here to help out on defense. When I went for that layup, it's going to be hard for them, you know. But you don't really want to do Euros too much when someone's like right on you. You can do it when they're in front of you, and then there's a certain time you can just try to get around them, get a scoop in. But it's not easy, but it's definitely doable. And then the second one is with the hop jumpers. I'm holding turbo, pushing down the opposite way where the ball is as I go forward. So boom, boom, and I got the dunk or the layup. It doesn't matter. But all of a sudden, I'm unstoppable now. Boom, I got the best hop jumper, got the best Euro. I'm customizing it. Like I said, it's going to be about what it fits your play style. If I'm a slasher who does layups only, I want to do specific things that complement that play style. If I'm a dunker, like for example, this character here is a dunker. He has a very high dunking. I'm able to do a hop step, spin, and all of that. So now we're going to do spin holding turbo. You can double flick the square, or you can just use the pro stick. I'm going to hold turbo the whole time and just do this and get a cheap little layup, which was terrible. Now, if I did that a little faster and a little closer, I might get a dunk, right? So it just depends on your preference. Again, the square button does the same exact thing. Now, the question, when do I do this spin dunk? Sometimes I like spinning off of people. If I know it's a weak defender, I do a spin off of them and I'll try to get my dunk on them. But if they're locked down, it's harder to do that spin and get a good dunk. Sometimes I'll do it just to, if they're away from me a little bit and I'm trying to get a finish, I'll spin, just pump fake, and then try to get a standing dunk right after, right? So these are the things I'm gonna be able to do when I have a custom spin that might be a little faster or slower depending on what I want. I'm able to boom, boom, and then just go up with my thing a little bit later. So you're gonna have crazy control, okay? Crazy control in the game once we figure out what are the best ones for 2K26 and we go forward from there, all right? And now I want to talk about some of the best ones for 2K25. We're going to get into a discussion about all of the best right now at the moment, okay? Because this changes and you can't rely on one thing or the other because the new year is around the corner. But yeah, let's rock out. Let's check it out. So we're going to dive into some of these amazing DRIBBLE packages and go over what is good, what is bad, and what you might want to start practicing with while you can. Again, I can't guarantee that all these layups will even be in 2K26, but every year, the truth is that there's plenty of layup packages returning with the same exact system. Only thing that changes in these systems is how effective they are in the game. And so it's up to the developers to make it effective and useful and actually viable for us to play with. Okay. So with that in mind, we'll start jumping in and kind of getting into a couple of different things. And again, these are subject to change as time goes on because the balance of what's effective or not for 2K26 we have to see. So yeah. Okay, so we're talking about Young, all right? Young blood. All right. He has some really good floaters. Okay. If you watch his floaters in these packages, you're probably going to want to put this on, especially if you're a very small guard and you're like, oh my God, you know, what do I need? You need an 80 layup. All right. That's not a lot, especially if you're a small guard. I'm sure you have a lot of layups, probably no dunks on your build, but see that floater right there? Looks really top tier. And then the rest of his stuff is decent too. It's actually some of the best in the game as far as little men that you can utilize and go forward with. So personally, I'm for it, and I love that about him. But yeah, as far as other small guards and things like that, you know, Ja is one of those guys who also has a decent setup. I think more so like, are you just using the stick or the shoot button, layup button? If you're using the layup button, you can use him more, but he has some really good ones like during contact, quick, aggressive styles that are very efficient. Personally, I definitely like him. And then another one is Damian Lillard. When you watch Damian Lillard, he has very good stuff for people who hit the square button, for example, layups and pop jumpers. But if you're somebody who's using stick and trying to do real skill stuff like floaters and scoops, those also are very well. You watch his floater, you watch his scoop, it's like, oh, okay, those are nice. And you can use them if you want. You know, everybody's play style is different again, depending on what you're into or not. It's up to you on what you want. Now, Zach LaVine is the guy that I think I talked about many years. I've used him a lot. I think like 2 years ago, or I forgot what game it was. He was like my #1 package. And it was because he was extremely good with the Euro step. Like his Euro step is still my favorite in the game right now for guards, like a wing player. I'm going to talk about wing players now. And he's, you know, I always have a wing player every year. I always like making a big guard who can do some things in the rim. So, you know, his Euro, very good. I like his hop jumper as well. He's balanced everywhere. The only thing I never really appreciated was his spin. And so again, practice with this. If you're okay with not using the spin as much, it's just a little slower than other spins. And, you know, for example, if I pulled out the Kobe, his spin is way better than Zion. I'm sorry, Levine. I keep thinking about Zion. Levine's, right? So Kobe has a good hop, a good spin, some nice Euro. Like, look at that Euro right there. This stuff, when you go to make a custom package, you can put on some Kobe. Some Kobe Levine combo might work. You know what I mean? Like, that would be probably my move right there, because even his scoop is okay. When you watch his scoop, you're like, oh yeah, let me get that quick scoop. Bloop. Nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? I don't like reverses. I kind of get annoyed by most reverses on a lot of these characters. They be trying to do too much, you know? And I'm like, bro, just lay it up, bro. I'm not trying to be fancy on a reverse, you know, but that's a different conversation. But you can see Kobe, again, another one of my personal favorites that's top tier. And I'll be honest with y'all, like, you know, when it comes to Euros, we always talk about James Harden. I never say that he's the worst or the best, but his Euro, for some reason, is just inspired. You know, And for me personally, you know, if you're a fan of finishing and you really want to get nasty, if 2026 ends up having a good effectiveness with the Euro, if I'm able to dex somebody or break someone's ankle, kind of stun them like we did in a couple years ago. I don't remember the year, but I know I was going crazy with this and I love this. And I think, you know, even in this year's game, it's good still, even though Euros aren't as effective as they were in the past. Okay. And so just kind of think about that and go forward. These are some of the ones I want you to try and put on equipped. And you got to look at their ratings and check whatever character you're using. A lot of them are not too high, in the 80s or lower. So yeah, if you have a high level one, keep going with these two, because like I said, you get effective with a Euro, you get effective with a hop jumper, you're going to be unstoppable down there. And it's going to be very annoying for people to guard you. They're like, this guy, you know. And as far as big men goes, there's a lot of big men that like you can kind of see and say, oh, this looks good or that looks good. And some of this stuff is trash. I'm just going to be honest. Most of the big men, there's like 2 or 3, you know. Jokic, for example, for me, for some reason, his scoop and his floater, look at that floater right there. As a big man from the free throw line, when they're trying to guard you in the paint, you just shoot that, you'll be good. And then his scoop is not bad as well. Like for a big man, you got to remember he's 6'10" and above. For these are not for little guys. And so being able to use his scoop to not get blocked and be efficient, very, very important in the game, in my opinion, and things like that. But I don't like his Euro. If you use that, don't even bother. Or his spin. For some reason, you know, only some characters have good Euros or spins and things like that. For example, with Giannis, for me, where's Giannis? Right here. Top tier stuff. If you watch all his, when it comes to regular layups, Euros, he's the man. Like his Euro is crazy. I might actually use this for my center. Now you got to have an 80 layup. And so I don't know what my center is going to look like for next year. We got to check the builder before we can decide on which one of these we're going to use. But the point is, you're playing 2025 still, and you can go in here and practice with this, okay? And figure out what is your favorite and how to go forward in the game. And I want to talk about one more guy for the bigs, and this is very, very special. You guys only need a 78. Sabonis has the most well-rounded in the bigs for me personally. Right, his scoop is nice, his floater's nasty, his Euro's nasty, you know, and everything else is decent. And so I would recommend this if you want to get great at the game. So, you know, figure that out, rock with it, man, and make it do what it do. But yeah, so these are some of the points and thoughts and conversations about what to do and how to go forward with finishing in that way. And again, the main thing that I would premise and that I would want y'all to kind of start to understand that you need to do in your life as a player is practice. I know it's like, we talking about practice? Yes, we talking about practice, bro. You know why? Because that's the only way you're going to actually become a good player. And I'll just go ahead and just do like a demonstration where I'm here against the AI. I mean, I could easily burn the AI and then just score, right? Get my dunk in like that, and you're like, oh wow, okay, well, you got an easy dunk, yeah, because you broke his ankle. But who cares? The AI is not that good. You see, I just do this and we're good. But the truth is, learning to use the AI during this, like I'm not gonna just burn him this time. I'm gonna wait for him, and then I'm gonna do my spin and see if that works. Even though I shot it late, I'm practicing, right? And so again, getting past him isn't the point. Sometimes I just want to learn how to do the hop jumper and then cook him like that. And it worked out on that one. Now I'm going to step back. I want him to defend me. I don't want to just get past him. See that right there? That little Euro, it worked out. These are the mechanics that I need to practice. I'm going to slowly go towards the right and then Euro step and try to finish on him. Now that could have got blocked from a real player who got decent defense. So now I want to do it again. Oh, wait, let's wait for him. His defense sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and just be in front of him and try to do a Euro there. And you see, I forced my way in towards him. This is what you want to do. And sure, you got to play defense, which is annoying. Yo, just shoot the ball, bro. Let me get the rock. But you're practicing, and you can practice your defense while you're at it too, right? Like learn how to contest and block and steal and all this stuff while you're practicing your skills. So what happens is you're actually going in for real. Now, I want you to do this in a game. I want you to go into whatever mode you play and just practice over and over. I know that it might be bad for your friends if you're like trying to learn something, but see that I got right in front of them with my hop step and scored. Okay. But you start doing this with your friends and let them know like, hey, I'm going for the dunk every time. I'm going for the, they'll figure it out. I tell my friends that all the time. When I first start the game, I'm like, I'm gonna do skill dunks. If I'm dunking, I'm going skill. I might miss it at the start, but don't worry. Once I master it, we're not losing. And I'll just practice. And there'll be a couple times where I'll mess up and not do the right skill dunk timing. And then I gotta just work on my game. I gotta get better. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna get better just by watching my own video. I could watch this video and not learn nothing because I didn't physically practice those moves. So just use the ones that I said and then get out there and make a move for yourself. Find your way. You're gonna be good. I promise y'all. I hope this deep dive breakdown will help you get ready for the new system where you're gonna customize your layups, and then this is gonna be good for dunkers, layups, all types of stuff, man. It's just gonna make you a better player. I do have the news and breakdown on what finishing is looking like and a bunch of other good stuff about all 2K popping up on the channel. Go check that out, but make sure you like, subscribe, and comment if you rock with me. See y'all on that next one. Stay blessed. Take care. Peace.